Rice is one of the primary staple foods for most of the 380 million people living in West Africa. Well, unfortunately, the sub-region can only produce 60% of the rice it needs, while importing 40% from Asia and other parts of the world. Ecowas is determined to address the issue with its 2025 target to ensure member states produce enough for its people. Well, ADEWALE AJADI, an agriculture development expert, joins us now remotely from London. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. And I still have OCHOLI here with me to talk about this. Of course, you give us your insights into the medical doctor strike. Let's talk agriculture now, as important as health. Let me begin with you, ADEWALE AJADI. Apparently, I mean, it will take a lot for the region to become self-sufficient in rice, considering the fact that it only produces 60% of what its requirements are. What do you think are those things that need to be put in place to achieve that self-sufficiency?
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me onto your program. What is clear is that Nigeria is the arrowhead of West Africa. And the consumption of rice in Nigeria has increased about 4.7%, about fourfold the increase across the world. So we're increasing our consumption considerably. But production in Nigeria has also increased from about 2% in 2015 to 2 million metric tons. Sorry, let me get my figures right. 2 million metric tons in 2015 to 9 million today in 2021. So there's been an incredible success on the part of production by Nigerian farmers and the Nigerian government. But there's been a challenge immensely in preventing the high importation that comes through our borders from our West African colleagues. So our consumption drives the marketplace. And certainly if we can get the rest of the sub-region to focus on local production rather than importation, that would be great. I'm not sure we're going to be that effective because next door to us in Benin Republic, they'd rather import than produce rice. They don't consume the same kind of rice and not in the same volume as we do. But I think it's a right policy in the right direction. And if our production continues to increase, we have a large market across West Africa to engage. But the gap is between our yield, our hectare. Our yield is not great in Nigeria. We are blessed with incredible land that needs very little chemical intervention to improve the yield. But the yield is still extremely low. Even though it meets our requirement, it's still extremely low for what we need in the very near future. So I think we need to improve our yield. We need to also ensure that post-harvest waste is reduced. So with rice, it's not nearly as bad, but we can actually improve the quality of what we get out of our farms. We can also improve the quality of processing because we still have processing challenges along the way. But I have to commend the government in terms of what it's done so far. And I think we have a long way to go to meet the sub-regional needs.
Let me bring it to OCHOLI here in the studio. ADEWALE just painted some encouraging picture. I mean, considering the fact that Nigeria was producing about 2 million as at 2015 or 2016, and there's a huge improvement. But with the policies that the federal government has put in place so far through the central bank and that closure of the border, because he talked about Benin, importing the rice that it actually does not consume. Apparently, it is targeted at the Nigerian market. There was that border closure and other policies. What do you think is missing as far as that is concerned, to improve and encourage the yield that ADEWALE talks about? What do you think needs to happen at that level?
Thank you. I think on that, I think the federal government have tried so many ways through the central bank to engage the local farmers, and also with the increase of production that we've had now. I think what's to the layman, at some point, sometime last 2 years, we're buying rice for as low as 16,000. These are rice that are imported into the country. But today I buy rice for 36,000.
Local rice?
Yes, local rice. So I think if the government should look at these our farmers, encourage more people like they are doing now. If they continue like this in the next 2-3 years, everything is going to be different. And we're not talking about 9 million metric tons. We'll be talking about 20 to 30.
What are those specific things you think government needs to put in place? I'm even more concerned about making agriculture, making rice farming attractive to the Nigerian youth. Hey, 65% of the Nigerian population is made up of the youth. So how do you attract them to agriculture, especially rice farming? What kind of incentives?
Thank you very much. I think just like the federal government are doing now, like sometime last year, we heard people saying, let's diversify from oil to agriculture and all of that. And the federal government hit to that. And we've seen the federal government disburse lots of money to these farmers to encourage them. I think the federal government should keep organizing this farming program to encourage you, because when you tell somebody, please go and farm, they will be like, me go and carry like it's punishment. I don't know that there are countries that live on farming.
Okay, let me ask Adewale that question. Adewale, very quickly, in 30 seconds if you can, how do you make rice farming, agriculture as a whole, attractive for the Nigerian youth? Because people say that is the catalyst.
Well, 30 seconds is too short to make it attractive, but I'll try my best. What is in place presently is a Brazil-Nigeria deal that is going to help to improve mechanization. So mechanization is very important. Farming should no longer be just a back-breaking process. Secondly, farming should not be something that is just at the risk of the weather. Rain-fed agriculture should stop. We should have all year-round agriculture with paddy rice and drainage to support agriculture all year round. The third thing is ensuring security. People will not go to the farm if they are at risk. What the government is doing that we're presently seeing belatedly in relation to terrorism in the north, banditry in the northwest, and terrorism in the northeast in the past few weeks is excellent progress. We need a lot more of that. We need to stamp down on that and make sure that people are able to go to the farm and get the returns on their investment. And the final issue is about storage of rice, silos. All those things should be readily available in clusters around the country. Okay. So that rural areas.
Thank you so much, Adewale Ajadi, agriculture development expert there. OCHOLI, you have less than 2 minutes. A point that we need to talk about very, very quickly. The Buhari visit to Tinubu. What signal does it send to you? Is it some kind of way of endorsing his ambition for 2023? Is that what you think? What's your reading of all of that?
Well, to me, it's more like a friend visiting a friend. I don't think it has any political undertone. We've seen the National Caretaker Committee, National Chairman, went for Atiku's son's wedding. He's a PDP person. Does that mean he went there to endorse him? These are some of media propagandas. Sometimes when people come on media to talk, we don't give you a story because Buhari went to visit Tinubu. You were not there in the discussion. And the end of the day, you come to the media and tell us, Buhari has endorsed.
But it's rather unusual. If you said, Tinubu visited President Buhari, yes, I mean, it's normal. But the president visiting Tinubu.
You see, the president is the president of Nigeria, and these people are not in Nigeria.
He can visit
they are not on Nigeria soil. Apart from the fact that he can visit anyone, they are friends.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let's hope that friendship rubs off, positively at the end of the day. Thank you so much, OCHOLI YUSUF.
Thank you
for joining us. Adewale Ajadi, and
happy birthday to me.
And happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, well, that's it for this edition of This Week. From me, Ngozi Alebu, and the entire team here in Abuja. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.